The title of the show comes from a zone or an area in the water. The kind of further you leave the surface of the ocean, the darker it gets. I think up to about 200 meters or so, it starts to get very dark. But when you get down to 1,000 meters, it's kind of petrol darkness. So that's called the kind of midnight zone. You've got kind of species of coral, you have species of fish that just exist in darkness, which is, I think, difficult for me as a human being to kind of fathom that. My practice in general is quite focused on the interactions between nature, people and technology. And I'm just really interested in how we as a society at this point in time can access different natural spaces. My interest then in the deep ocean came out of pure chance. A couple of years ago I was approached by the director of UCD Parity Studios. She just called me up and invited me to go on a very unusual artist residency, a marine expedition. This opportunity kind of opened up a massive new, I suppose, point of focus and research for me. And so I travelled out to the Northeast Atlantic Ocean with a group of researchers for 10 days. They were carrying out maybe 7-8 hour video dives, and so we could just sit there for hours just watching what was going on down there, which is incredible. I kind of followed a journey of research which led me to look at the ocean in a different way. I became quite concerned about what's kind of happening offshore, underwater, out of sight, and I started to look into the kind of legal frameworks. The works that are in the show, they can be defined as looking at extraction of deep sea minerals, the ways that we as humans interact or access those spaces, and the idea of exploitation and governance. Within the show, I have a 5-channel video installation, which is floor-based, and it's kind of looking at the different procedures involved in deep sea mining. And although these are not videos from deep sea mining, because officially that hasn't started yet, it is imagery that represents the kind of drilling and digging and kind of pulling and prodding. Another piece of work called Accounts of Immersion. For that piece, it's a 6-channel video. That piece is based on my own journey on my first expedition. I kind of am using my own footage on board and kind of contrasting that with the first scientific dive in the same location. So it's like a co-location thing, and it's really lovely and exciting to hear the scientists talk about their discovery way back then.
We're taking a sample of the dead coral at the moment, and the videotape is running just to show quite a lot of the features of the colony. We're focusing on the distant bushes or coral clumps with a living one in the foreground.
It's one of my favourite places in Ireland. Just visually, I think the idea of decommissioned or deconsecrated sites are really interesting, and how a kind of space can kind of change culturally over time. There's a sense of awe and presence about a space, you know, so I'm really excited.